Hi, I'm Brent Hasker. I'm going to show you how to play the keyboard part for No Longer Slaves, the piano part actually. And this video is going to be geared towards, obviously, piano players that are playing the song. It's also geared towards worship leaders, kind of giving you some insight on the arrangement of the song and some things that you can do with it. I'm going to start off by just going through the whole song pretty quickly here, just kind of showing you at least what the chords are and how they're voiced. And of course this is my own interpretation of the song, so it might vary a little from how other people play it. But the song starts off with some pretty dark chords, and this is a small MIDI controller, only got 4 octaves, so I'll be switching back and forth octaves and moving it up and down because I have such a limited little keyboard here. But the song's going to start off with B flat. We're going to do the song in B flat, and instead of playing the whole B-flat chord, whole triad there, I'm going to do an inversion with the F in the bottom and then the B-flat on the top. So it's only going to be 2 notes in this chord the way it's voiced. Just that. Keep it sparse. You don't want to don't do that because that D adds too much. And do it down in the low register to start with. And there's always going to be this B-flat through the first verse and chorus playing. In the recording it sounds kind of like a cello or something like that, and it just... And so I'm just going to kind of do it on piano, but you could have some other instrument do it, like I said, like a cello or something like that. If you got another keyboard player who can do a synth pad, or you can do that synth little B-flat there, yeah, they can do that. But it sounds something like this on the verse. That the B flat continues to go. It doesn't change the bass note. It's not. The B flat stays there. And so what's happening is you're doing the B flat for one measure, then again, and then you're going to the E flat over B. And you can just play that E flat in the root position, and then F. Again over the B, B. And now when you go to the chorus, I'm no longer a slave to fear. That's going to be E flat, F, again both in the root position, then to the B, again just the 2-note B flat chord. I'm a terrible singer. That's up to the G minor, again in the root position, a slave, F, root position, B flat. Got it. So I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. Still that B flat. I'm no longer a slave to fear. I am a child of God. This is where the whole band breaks. So you have the whole band come out. There's really not much playing at the beginning of the song anyway. There might be a little bit of percussion, light drums. Really keep the bass guitar out, because if you got other people playing bass, unless they're all just holding on that B flat, they're going to be conflicting with what's going on. So you can have all the way up through the verse and chorus, and that's the cat in the background making a bunch of noise. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I just lost my train of thought. Where are we at? Okay, so we get to that break, and it's just, whoever's actually playing at that point comes out, and it's just the piano, and there's no bass in the piano. Don't be playing it like, well, I can't do it on here because, hold on. Don't be doing it like this. It's like Frankenstein. You don't want to, don't be all heavy-handed and play it down in the low registers. When you get to that break, then you want to come up. Actually, I can go up another octave than that. I'm doing there, the chords are G minor, root position, F, root position, B flat, second inversion, or first, however you put. Just throw the F on the bottom, and you're playing the whole chord, all three notes, and then down to the E flat, root position. The second time through, you could do a little different. G minor, root position, F, root position, B flat inverted with the F on the bottom, and then do the E flat with the G on the bottom. And then the melody is B flat, A, D, B flat, G. And you could actually make a case for it being this instead. B flat, A, F, B flat, G. But that's actually the vocal part. Cat, stop it. That's the vocal part, and I think before the actual vocals come in with the O's later in the song, I think it's nicer to do it on the D, B flat, G. And then the next time through, B flat, A, then D, F, G, going up an octave. Alright, so put it together. And one thing that's really important on this, when you're playing it, never hang on the sustain throughout the whole thing. Don't do this. I'm going to hold down the sustain pedal for the whole time. Hear all that dissonance, all of those notes that are all clashing together. Instead, let off the sustain pedal every time you hit a chord. Now the only thing you hear sustaining is just that last chord and note that I played. So you want to make sure, because otherwise you get all that, just a bunch of rumble and noise underneath what you're playing, and this should sound very sweet and delicate. Okay, so when you go into the second verse and chorus, now you're not going to just be playing that B flat on the bass. Now you're going to be doing the, actually let me go down again. Oops, hold on, I'm just mind blank. B flat, again, those two notes on the chord. You don't want to do too much. And then it goes up to a D. So the actual lyrics are, from my mother's womb. I forget the lyrics. You have chosen me, your love has called my name. So that's B flat to the D. And you could, you could leave off the A and then hit it or play it. And then E flat, again, root position, F, back to a B, two notes on that chord. I'm no longer slave. And same thing that we just did. And then when the second chorus is done, it's going to go back to that. And again, you could go up an octave if you want. So it plays through that a while. The singing comes in. The band, again, whenever you get to that piano part, the band either has to drop out or completely be down in dynamics. If not, then it kills. If you're just trudging through the whole song, it just kills the dynamics of that song. This song really feeds off of a lot of tender moments in the music to really accent the lyrics and to just create the atmosphere of the song. So if you're just trudging through it and the whole band's playing from start to finish through the whole song, you're killing the song. So the band has to drop out there. So worship leaders, when you tell them, say, hey, when I go into this part after the chorus, I want everybody out. And then slowly build the song back up. Not just have the band wait for one time through the progression and all of a sudden they're jamming again. Very slowly build it back up along with the lyrics. And there's that one part where it's going, so when you're getting to that, that's when the band should really be back into the to the mix, really. And well, I'll get to the lyrics in a moment here. The last part to worry about, there's when you're doing the chorus, there's one small change. Well, actually, when you're actually that part, yeah, it's you split the sea so I could walk right through it. I'm a terrible singer. I'm sorry. So let's just do the chords. So there's a D minor that's thrown in there, and I know that was a terrible rendition there for you, but I told you I'm not a singer. So I'll just play the chords. You split the sea so I could walk right through it. Our fears were drowned in perfect love. I'm terrible. You rescued me so I could walk and sing. I am a child of God. So that's the only change there. You're still doing that progression, but you're just throwing in that D at that one time. And back into it. Okay, now let's that's pretty much the whole song there as far as the keyboard. You can spice it up however you want, but again, this song is really meant to be sparse and not really have a lot going on to it, so don't try and overkill it or do too much to it. Just keep it simple. Just create a nice atmosphere. This song, when I look at the lyrics, it's, to me, it feels like it's somebody, the person singing it was coming out of a very dark period. It just feels like, I'm no longer a slave to fear. They were not in a good spot. Christ came to their rescue. You unravel me with a melody. You surround me with a song of deliverance from my enemies till all my fears are gone. So this is somebody that really experienced some real struggles, and now they're free of that. So they went from being dark and isolated, which I think is where that melody here comes from. That's the isolation. It has a very sad, where they were before Christ. It's almost painful, like they're somebody that's really hurting in pain. There you can, it's somebody hurting when you hear that. But when the song builds and you get to that bridge, I am surrounded by the arms of the Father. Now he's singing about the rescue. I am surrounded by songs of deliverance. We've been liberated from our bondage. We've been liberated from our bondage. We're the sons and daughters. Let us sing our freedom. So now all of a sudden, this same melody that was sadness is now a theme of freedom. All of a sudden that theme is no longer a sad theme. It's a song of freedom. So to me, it's really cool how this song can take that same melody, started off isolated by itself, and it's sad, and then it turns it into a song of freedom. And then when you got the whole band and everybody singing together, now suddenly that little melody that sounds so sad by itself, all of of a sudden becomes a very powerful theme. It almost becomes like an anthem, something that everybody's rallying behind, a rallying call. So that's something really cool about the song, and you can only really get that message through if you're really playing to the dynamics of the song. Again, if you're just trudging through it, these nuances of the song, of how it talks about what the lyrics are doing with the music, it's going to get lost if you don't have the dynamics behind it. So anyway, that's the song. Like I said, as you can see, it's a pretty easy song. I hope this video is helpful. If it is, then please like the video. Also, please like this channel. And I'm trying to produce as many of these videos as I can, trying to be helpful, providing some good information. Again, thank you for watching, and God bless you.